Hey, welcome to Sam and John's Book Club.
Sam and John's Book Club.
It's a book club.
We're talking about a book.
And we're reading Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson, specifically chapters 43 through 49. Not my favorite chapters, but not my least favorite.
Right. What are your least favorite?
John, are you gonna make me call out chapter 12 specifically? Is that what you're trying to do?
Oh man, I don't.
I'm not trying to throw shade at chapter 12 specifically, but
I don't even want to bring it up.
No, I have no idea what my least favorite were, but it wasn't these ones.
Right. These were fun.
It might have been the ones leading up to the end of part 2. Remember how we were commenting on how those ones were kind of boring, and then
those
suddenly, bam.
Slow.
Yeah, I don't know. There were some, whatever. Hey, though, you know what? Shallan had a flashback chapter I didn't hate this time because Hoyd was in it.
Right. That's kind of exactly what I was thinking. I was like, these because that was like we were trying to predict what was going to be in the flashback chapters, and I thought they were, fine.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, hey, let's hop right into it, huh?
Yeah.
We're getting more of those textbook openings from Words of Radiance.
Mm-hmm.
And thus were the disturbances in Rev Toparchy quieted, when upon their ceasing to prosecute their civil dissensions, Nalan E. Lin betook himself to finally accept the Skybreakers, who had named him their master. When he had spurned their advances, and in his own interests, refused to countenance that which he deemed a pursuit of vanity and annoyance, this was the last of the heralds to admit such patronage. Okay. So what I noticed is that this guy's last name is also E. Lin, which makes me think that maybe that's not actually a last name. Maybe that's a title, and just all the heralds are called blank E. Lin.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too.
That's kind of where I'm leaning now.
Yeah.
However, if we come across a herald who's not called E. Lin, then we can kind of
then we can have a fit.
Yep. So here it sounds like the Orders of the Knights Radiant didn't initially have a herald associated with them.
Right, yeah.
But they were like, hey, you want to be our herald? And the herald was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Sure, why not, yeah.
And eventually this Nalan E. Lin became the patron of the Skybreakers last. The Skybreakers have been mentioned before when Kaladin was talking about wanting to get revenge on Amaram, and Syl was like, psh, you're not a Skybreaker, you shouldn't be like this. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Yeah, so,
maybe the Skybreakers are bad. It's hard to say.
I don't know.
At least not, Honor Spren don't like them. That's pretty much all we know, though.
Yeah, this Rev Toparchy they stopped prosecuting their civil dissensions, and that's when Nalan Elin was like, okay, Skybreakers, I guess I will assist you in fixing this problem. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, whatever. Yeah. Hey, Shallan is chilling, I guess. No, she's going to see the Ghost Bloods.
Yeah, this is she conjures up her little disguise as the, dark-eyed, assistant to Tin that she's masquerading as. Yep. She walks through town, and she's only wearing a glove on her safe hand. How scandalous.
Scandal.
And she goes to this warehouse, I guess, and then goes down some stairs into this Ghost Blood club kind of. Yeah,
where she meets Moraes. And
it's spelled Mraiz, so whatever vowel you want to put between M and R.
Moraes. All right, whatever. I guess I give it an just to a short little UH sound,
Yeah, I was saying Moraes. I was just trying to roll into it as soon as I can.
Moraes. Sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, when Shallan's in there,
super creepy.
She's complaining about the fact that the floor is wooden. She's like, it's not like our stone floors. I'm like, Shallan, you spent months on boats. Shut up.
Yeah.
I don't know why. That just annoyed me a little.
Yeah, I was like, this is some world building that is not appreciated, Brando Sando. We get it.
So she's talking to Moraes. All right.
Whatever.
He's like, why didn't your master come? She's like, oh, she's a coward, and he's like, oh, I hate that. I'm gonna kill her. Maybe I won't. Tell me where she is. I don't know. And I don't know.
Yeah, he offers her money to sell her out, and she's trying to convince him that she's more useful than that. And he's like, I could kill you. I could torture you. That'd be fun. I'm a creepy guy. And she's like, but you won't.
Yeah, because I'm cool. And he's like, yeah, I guess you're okay. And so she's allowed to leave. She has a tail. Someone's following her, but she manages to ditch him with some of her cool Stormlight powers.
Yep.
Her alibi is, or not alibi, her other name.
Alias.
Her Ghostblood pen name, alias. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
is Veil, which is,
yep.
It has to do with lies, right? You're veiling the truth or whatever.
Sure.
It's just it fits her, I think.
Yeah. And so basically, Marie's gives her the assignment. Well, I guess it's really an assignment for Tin to figure out Amaram's secrets, more or less, and that will kind of get Tin back in his good graces. So she's like, well, might as well do that to get in, more closely to the Ghostbloods, try to get to their information.
And I'm kind of psyched about that, because if Shallan finds out Amaram's secrets, we also get to know Amaram's secrets as the readers, which would be pretty dope.
Isn't his primary secret how he came into a shard blade?
That's a big one. That's what we think his primary secret is, John. Who knows what skeletons Amaram has in his closet?
Yeah, we don't know what Sando's cooking up.
The thing is, I don't think that him having the shard blade, that might be something she stumbles across, but I don't think that is the sort of information that Ghostbloods are interested in. Or maybe it is, because it would give them leverage over him if they knew that, right?
That's true, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they're looking for. Yeah. I mean, hey, that's all I got on that chapter, though. She met him. Cool beans. But as for the bondsmiths, they had members only 3, which number was not uncommon for them. Nor did they seek to increase this by great bounds, for during the times of Madassa, only one of their order was in continual accompaniment of thru and its thrones. Their spread was understood to be specific, and to persuade them to grow to the magnitude of the other orders was seen as seditious. First question I have after reading this is, what does seditious mean?
I was just about to ask that.
Do you not? Yeah, you don't know? I was hoping you would.
Yeah. No, I don't. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Seditious, inciting or causing people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch.
Oh, okay.
Wow. So you were going to make people pretty mad if you said that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So the bondsmiths, they sound like this kind of special, unique order? I don't know. I mean, I imagine each Order of Knights Radiant having just a whole lot of members, hundreds or whatever.
Yeah, you'd think.
And this one has 3, and to even suggest that they get more was going to be real bad.
Yeah, for some reason.
Okay, noted.
Yeah.
Okay, Kaladin is chilling. What's he doing?
He's
they're training.
With Zahel, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Or Zale, I don't know how. He said it differently.
Zyle is the way Kramer says it.
Right. He's a lot of fun. I like all of his anti-metaphors.
Yeah. Where does Zyle come from again? Did we?
I don't think it's and if they told us, I don't remember. All we know is he was not a herald. I was going to say herald. An ardent. That's the word.
No, he is an ardent.
Yes.
He's just bad at it.
Right.
It's also fun. Yeah. Okay, so Kaladin here, he's looking after Shallan as she's walking away, or
walking
someone.
Into
I don't remember. He's talking to. This is not him talking to Adolin. He's talking to one of the other bridgemen. And this other bridgeman is like, oh, she's a sight for sore eyes, huh?
Yeah.
And Kaladin's like, what? And he doesn't even consider that sort of thing because she's a light eyes.
Right.
He doesn't see her as human almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
He sees them as 2 different species.
Right. Yeah. Pretty much.
And I don't know. This is kind of lame. I don't like this. Right.
Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously, people do this with. I don't know, maybe race to some extent here in the real world, right?
Yeah.
But I knew one person who was so focused on gender, right? That at times it felt like they were so focused on seeing people as men and women, they couldn't see people as just people, right?
Huh.
And here Kaladin's doing that same sort of thing, where he's so focused on light eyes and dark eyes, it's like
right.
It's blinding him to seeing people as they are, because he's so focused on this one trait.
Right. I mean, it is kind of textbook dehumanizing,
Yeah.
So
I think Kaladin's got to get over this whole light eyes, dark eyes thing. It's just man. Kaladin's got a whole slew of problems though.
Yeah. Yeah, Kaladin's number rankings are slowly declining, but I'm sure.
I want to say he's trying his best. He probably is trying his best.
Yeah, I don't know. He's shirking so many responsibilities, what with the whole Stormlight Adderall thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but he's in a slump. He'll come out of it eventually.
As he was, now he's actually talking to Adolin, and Shallan is walking away, right? Mm-hmm. This is after Shallan has kind of brushed Adolin off and pretend like she didn't care, right? And there was just this funny line about Adolin's watching. He's like, she's insufferable. He said again, but he seemed to mean something completely different. Thinks Kaladin,
yeah.
And I'm like, it was just funny to me. I don't know. I liked it.
Yeah, it was fun.
So Adolin's into that. Adolin is into being brushed off, playing hard to get, working like a charm.
Yep. So Hel brings over a shard blade so they can all kind of try it out just to understand what they're up against more or less. Mm-hmm. And Kaladin's like, nope, not gonna touch that. Syl would be very angry, very upset.
Yep. And Syl's like, hey, thanks for not touching that. Cool beans.
Mm-hmm. And then they just get big old wooden thingies that imitate the weight to practice with.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be just handing out shard blades all willy nilly.
I'm gonna crunch this ice really quick. Just bear with me.
All right. Oof. That's nice.
I just wanted to get that over with. Just rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
We learn here while they're on the sparring grounds that Moash's grudge is with the king.
Yep.
And that Moash...
SpaghettiOs.
Because the king had his family executed, sort of.
Mm-hmm. Right. He is responsible for their death. Moash says that he killed them, which he didn't kill them by his own hand, but he locked them in prison until they starved to death.
Yeah, I mean, if you cause someone's death, though, that's
right.
That's the same.
Right. Yeah, and for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
And
Kaladin is like, don't do that. Don't kill the king. That's our job to not kill him pretty explicitly,
Yeah.
And Moash is like, well, I don't know. I met these cool dudes. I threw him a rope, So we learned that was him. Moash did throw the rope off the balcony, right?
Yep.
And Kaladin's like, just stop. And the guy's like, all right, I'll stop for now on the condition that you meet with the people
that I've been talking to.
I've been conspiring with, yeah.
Yeah.
And Kaladin is like, okay, I'll meet with them. And Syl's like, do not meet with them. And Kaladin's like, well, I have to investigate them. And Syl's like, you should just tell Dalinar, but whatever.
Yeah, tenuous.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, and we find out that sick move where Dalinar clapped the shard blade that was coming down was called the last clap, and it's actually pretty impractical, and there's really no use learning it. But it was pretty practical in that one circumstance.
It's fully, it's a last-ditch effort. That was the one situation where you got to use that. But hey, it came in handy.
I thought it was funny that, Kaladin brings that up. He's like, I saw Dalinar do this thing, and Zio was like, oh, did he? Yeah, good for him. And then he, goes back to what he's doing.
That's pretty cool. All right, well, whatever, yeah. Hey, it's a Shallan flashback.
Oh, boy.
And it's one I didn't hate. They're at a fair. There's a parrot, but they call it a chicken. I get the feeling they just call all birds chickens in this world.
Yeah. My sister used to call all types of meat chicken. What a fun little personal anecdote you now know.
That's a really fun personal anecdote, John. Thank you.
We find out just randomly that when a bunch of people are all in a group, Spren are less common. Which I think
is my next note precisely. Yeah. Yeah, she went into this gambling tent to find one of her brothers. And yeah, she said there were a bunch of people around. They were, emotions were clearly high, but when people are gathered, there are fewer Spren. And I thought, it's whack.
Yeah, kind of an important thing. Maybe we slipped in sort of. In conspicuously.
Yeah, I wonder if that's because, with all the people... Because we know that when people in the normal world, they're represented by a little flame in the cognitive realm, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Maybe if there are just a whole bunch of flames around the Spren who...
Oh, sure.
So far, we've seen the Spren in the cognitive realm. They're represented by, bigger creatures, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they, literally can't fit because
the
representations of the humans are, crowding them out?
Yeah, could be.
I don't know. That's my guess. I have no idea. I'm sure we'll learn more about it later.
Yeah.
And there is a messenger for Shallan's father. Shallan's, helping all her brothers be happy, which is cool.
Right, she's trying to, fix each of them from their, vice.
Yeah, and reading this chapter especially, it really kind of makes sense that Shallan was the one sent off to fix all of their family's problems.
Yeah.
Because she's been the one fixing all of their family's problems for, like, apparently years, you know?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, there's a messenger there for her father, and when the messenger sees her, he's like, what? You know, he's like taken aback, he's alarmed, he like loses his cool for a second.
Yep.
He puts something in his own drink.
Yeah.
And drinks it. What was that? I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And then at the end of the chapter, the guy turns out to have been Wit, who now approaches Shallan, sans her dad.
Mm-hmm.
And hot dog, that's
seen Hellerin lately, and the messenger like implies that he knows that she is going to be a Surge Binder because he's talking about Stormlight and something else.
Yeah, so why does Hoyd know that? I mean, it's Hoyd, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's Hoyd. You can just know it's Hoyd.
Yeah.
Why does he know that Shallan is going to be a Surge Binder, right?
I mean, Hoyd just knows everything, right?
Does Hoyd time travel, John?
Maybe.
Does he time travel?
He's I feel like every author has their fun little character that like everybody likes because they're mysterious and everybody likes a good mystery. You know?
No, every author doesn't have that.
Well,
Brandon Sanderson has done a genius thing. Every time Hoyd comes up, I'm like, oh boy, like I get so psyched, you know?
Right.
Brandon Sanderson's
the closest
a
thing
genius
I
for
was
throwing this
thinking was
character in
like
there.
in Inheritance, Angela, like not a lot of info about her. She's kind of fun.
Aragon Inheritance book?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't remember those. It's been too long.
I know that Brandon Sanderson's going to write like a trilogy, I think it is, regarding Hoyd. But it's not going to be like... It's going to be like a prologue to when he starts doing all this stuff in the world. So, I mean, surely we'll learn a lot through that. But
Brandon Sanderson has got to pick up the pace.
Oh, yeah.
Right now we're getting one Cosmere book every, 1 or 2 years or something? Maybe 3. I want a Cosmere book every 6 months, okay, Brandon? Can we make that happen?
Crank them out, yeah.
Yep.
He has like a blog post where he's like, here are all the books I'm going to write, and then I'm going to die. And everybody's like, all right, because that's fine.
Cool, yeah.
There's supposed to be 2 more. So this is a tangent, but there's the Mistborn trilogy, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the prologue, which is supposed to be 4 books, I think. Or the Mistborn Era 1, or whatever it's called.
Well, we've already had Era 1 from Mistborn.
Right, it comes after. Yeah, my bad. But apparently there's supposed to now be one, I think, before the original series, and then after the ones with Wax and Wayne. And I'm like, oh my goodness, so much Mistborn going on.
No. The original series is the first. There are 4 eras, but it's just first, second, third, fourth.
Okay.
And the idea is that each one jumps forward. This isn't really spoilers. This is like, I think he's open about this,
Right.
Each one takes place in a different time era, right?
Yeah.
So our first one is like fantasy setting, pretty, standard, run-of-the-mill.
Mm-hmm.
Second, Mistborn Era 2 is more like almost steampunk.
Steampunk, yeah.
Mistborn Era 3 is apparently going to be like 80s, like a lot of neon, kind of retro-futuristic almost a little. No, just, I don't know. It's going to be kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then the last one is going to be like straight up sci-fi.
Straight sci-fi.
Era 4 is going to be straight sci-fi.
Hell yeah.
So it's going to be pretty cool. I know you haven't read Era 2 yet, but I highly recommend it. And
I was just waiting for the 4th to come out, but yeah.
You've got to read Arcanum Unbounded. It's this entire collection of short stories.
Mm-hmm.
Very good information all throughout. You should just after you finished this book we're reading right now, but before you get to Mistborn Era 2, I think, is a pretty good place to just read that whole book. Or you could read it, during Mistborn Era 2 or whatever.
Right. And
just read a lot more Brandon Sanderson.
When do we need to get Edge Dancer in as well?
That's between books 2 and 3, and that is included in Arcanum Unbounded. So.
Oh, it is? Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe
it's one of the,
Maybe I'll pick that up.
I highly recommend it. Okay. Hey, where were we?
At the fair, Hoyd.
Hoyd is, I mean, is he from the future? I don't know. Either way, he knows that Shallan is going to become a Surge Binder, and he actually kind of baits her into doing some Surge Binding right in front of him, a little bit of light weaving, right? Mm-hmm. He's having her imagine this scene, something she really wants, and he has a line about how the shards here are very strict.
Mm-hmm.
Also, while he's talking to Shallan, like having her imagine her, like what would the world be like right now if it were just perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
She says, the people my mother knew, Drader, never came to our house. So who are these people her mother knew?
Right.
I don't know.
Why
More on
did they
that
cause
later,
such
I'm
a
sure.
big issue?
Yeah, maybe that's what caused all this, whatever.
Right, and he's like, it's kind of having her craft like a lie, sort of, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he's baiting her into
He's,
light
like,
weaving.
training her, yeah.
He's holding
A sphere.
spheres up, yeah, and she's
Yeah.
drawing from it. So
Yeah.
cool. Anything else on that chapter for you, John?
Nope.
When Seamal was informed of the arrival of the Edge Dancers, a concealed consternation and terror, as is common in such cases, fell upon him. Although they were not the most demanding of orders, their graceful limber movements hid a deadliness that was by this time quite renowned. Also, they were the most articulate and refined of the Radiance. Edge Dancer, hey, that's a book we're going to read soon.
Yeah.
How exciting.
What timing.
Okay, so Seamal is probably some guy who's not a member of the Radiance, probably not a herald or anything like that, and the Edge Dancers have arrived, and now he's like, oh no, not the Edge Dancers. Oh, I don't know.
Jeez.
Okay. Hey, Kaladin does some cool stuff.
Yep.
Kaladin arms Shen. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which is pretty insane, yeah.
Shen was going to tell Kaladin something important,
Yeah.
and Kaladin was like, oh, gotta go. And it's just...
You're right.
Well, not really. He was like, oh, you were saying? And Shen's like, I'll tell you later. Yeah. So
we're totally gonna find out.
Hopefully not too much later, because
we're totally gonna find out he's a dull-form spy. That's like our running theory.
But Shen, well now, like he said very genuinely to Kaladin, like, you're a good man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even if he was a dull-form spy, maybe he's being converted. Maybe he's seeing like, why are we?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we at war with, like, there are good people among the humans.
Right. And this is the most we've heard, like, Parchment talk for sure, but even, like, in dull form, this seems a pretty, like, I don't know, complex, like, comment,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
Shen,
that in the weeds, but still.
Shen's definitely been picking it up a little bit.
Yeah.
In addition to arming Shen, Kaladin also agrees to go out on the town with the boys.
Yeah.
Which is another
crack
cool
a cold
thing.
One. Yeah.
That's another, good job, Kaladin.
Yeah. He's being, like, real lame about it, but at least he went,
At least he went, dude. I'm happy he went. I'm really happy he went.
It's funny, Moash is like, you promised you'd come with him. And Kaladin's like, I never said that, but alright.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, we find out the countdown, and we might have already known this. I couldn't remember. The countdown's going to end right around when the weeping starts. So that seems pretty important. Yeah.
Also, we learned that the weeping has a day right in the middle where it doesn't rain. Did we know that before?
Yeah. No, that was definitely new. The light day.
The light day. Yeah, I was like, what the heck?
Yeah. That's weird. Yeah.
I wonder if that's significant. Probably is.
Yeah.
Okay, Rock is telling everyone about his home, and we get some information.
Tons of world building.
Yeah, but besides all that, we get some information that's like important, I think, on a cosmic scale. All
right, hit us with it.
Rock says that if you swim in the water, you see the place of gods.
Yep.
For them, the gods are the spren. Yep. So this means that the water he's swimming in is like literally a portal to the cognitive realm.
Yeah, kind of.
I don't know if you remember this, John, but there is another portal to the cognitive realm we've been introduced to in books you've read, and this was the Well of Ascension.
Oh, what the heck? I didn't even think about that.
Yes. And if you read through the Arcanum Unbounded, it'll be laid more bare for you.
Oh, what the heck?
But this is a true statement. So there's this place in the Horn-Eater Peaks is like a rare place in the world that is literally a portal from the cognitive to the physical realm.
What the heck?
That's what I'm getting out of this. I'm pretty confident about this, and I'm made more confident by the fact that Hoyd came through this portal.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Rock was describing him: angular face, white hair, young man, Zigzul was getting like, whoa, what? That's my senpai, you know? And my sensei, I guess.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but...
And yeah, so like this is how Hoid came to be in Roshar.
Right.
Hoid was on another world, and then he traveled, I'm thinking, through the cognitive realm to Roshar, and this is how he gets around.
Oh my gosh, Hoid is a planeswalker.
Yes, and all right, here's another thing for you. Helleran was the one who, he was talking to Hoid when Hoid came to the fair in the last chapter, right?
Yep.
Helleran, if he's in with Hoid, if they're like in talks, maybe Helleran has joined Hoid's Planeswalker club.
Ah, yes, we know he has that.
And Helleran is like a world hopper now.
That would be pretty sick.
And that's the important stuff he's gone off to do.
Right, and so, you know, they're like pretty sure he's dead, but maybe he's just out of this world.
Maybe he's just gone doing cool stuff somewhere.
Doing cool Hoid stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's pretty insane.
So this is my cosmic scale world building theory that I'm currently going off of right now.
And they're like, if you jump in the water and you're not a Horn Eater, you'll die.
And then Zigzul's like, well, that's just because you kill everyone who jumps in that's not a Horn Eater.
And he's like, Rock's like, well, that doesn't make for a very good story, now does it? Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
And Hoid is also just considered a god among the Horn Eaters. The god of, what did he say, like travel and mischief or something?
Yep. Which is like, you know, one of the coolest things to be a god of, I would say.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's dope.
Oh, man, Hoid is just so much larger than life, you know?
Yeah, I'm seriously... Now that we've gone back, John, and we started rereading... I'm now rereading all of these Stormlight Archive books.
Yeah.
It makes me really want to go back and reread every Sanderson book I've read so far.
Right, yeah. I know every book that I read, like, from now on, I'm going to be, you know, much more, like... going to be looking closer for these kinds of things and the connections between the worlds.
Yeah, it's all just so good. Oh man.
Yeah, what a guy, Sanderson.
Yeah. Kaladin goes ahead and meets with Moash's murder club.
Right, the King Killers.
The King Killer Chronicles. I write the note, oh geez, Kaladin, please don't do the revenge.
Yeah.
Kaladin, I don't... He's like, you know, talking to these folks, and he's like, oh, they actually make some really good points. Yeah. Maybe we should accommodate the death of the king, right? He's kind of vaguely considering.
Because like really all they're asking is to just like leave an opening when they're guarding him sometime, right?
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have to be a part of it. He just has to like accommodate it, basically.
Yeah, and he's also making, you know, Moash said like, How can I, a Dark Eyes, find justice against the king, right? It won't happen, right?
Right.
And now Kaladin's thinking like, well, I'm in kind of a similar situation with Amaram. Maybe the only way he can be brought to justice is if I just straight kill him, right?
Yeah. And this is, of course, things we know he shouldn't do because Syl will die, probably.
That's what I'm thinking. Also, we learned that Graves is the leader of this organization, right? And he's a Light Eyes who's apparently a pretty cool dude, except for the fact that he wants to kill the king. Mm-hmm. And Dallin is in the organization as well. I'm pretty sure that she is one of Adolin's ex-girlfriends.
Yep, she is. Yeah, I know that as well. Yeah, she was a recent one. I don't think the most recent, but like 2 or 3 back.
Sure.
She was named, right?
Like we heard about her in book 1 somewhere or something.
Right. So we knew she was going to be important some way or another. Man, the fact that I was gonna say my note was Kaladin considers assassinating the king. All right, bud.
Yeah,
we'll see about that.
That was I have a note here, right? If Kaladin cooperates, it may just kill Syl outright. Right. Even considering cooperation may be harmful to her. Right. I don't know the rules. I don't know how Syl gets killed. But
this is definitely not honorable stuff going on.
This is very dishonorable.
Yeah. Also, this is a very random aside, but like, we got a Graves, we got a Shin. There's a place called Azir. I'm getting suspicious of Brandon Sanderson's video gaming hobbies. I'm like,
that would be hilarious.
They're piling up, you know.
You know what? If we meet a Malzahar, I'll be convinced.
You know, he's got 7 books, lots of characters to introduce. I'm just saying, he's got a well of names to choose from.
Well, I'm just saying, John, like, Wheel of Time, I'm pretty sure there were about 1 million named characters. I don't think a single one of them shared a name with a League of Legends character.
Right. Seems
so.
I'm suspicious.
Yeah.
Now I suddenly have a question that I wish I would have asked when we met Brandon Sanderson.
Have you played League of Legends? Yeah.
Yeah. How entrenched in that lore are you?
Dude, what if he passed you a read and find out card?
I'm like, what? Your like autobiography?
Dude, and then you have to dig deep and find his League of Legends fan fictions online.
Oh my gosh! And then find his account, and then we play on a team. Oh man.
You invite him to Clash, yeah.
Yeah. My dreams.
Yeah, but no, I mean, Kaladin was saying the assassins were making sense, and even me, the reader, I'm like, yeah, these assassins are making some pretty good points.
Right. I mean, they're like, the king is incompetent, and we're like, yep, no, straight up facts.
And when Graves is like, we were trying to make it look like an accident before, but I realized now that that's cowardly, I'll kill him myself, right? I'm like, Graves is kind of cool, you know, like.
Right. Can't really argue against him, yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously killing the king is dishonorable, but he's kind of going about it in the most honorable way, almost.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, he's making a lot of sense. You know,
we don't want to hurt any guards. We just want Dalinar on the throne because he would be an objectively better king, right?
Yeah, this is kind of a
just let me kill the king and get executed for it, and the kingdom will prosper. That's what he wants, right?
Yeah, like, this is a pretty. Like, pretty much the best way to do it. Like, he just wants the best for Alethkar, you know? Like, he introduces himself as a patriot. That's his whole, like, deal, you know?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, something tells me that they're gonna succeed, but Kaladin will not be involved. But it's like, how can they succeed if Kaladin doesn't want them to, given he's in the King's Guard, you know?
The thing is, Scylla's like, again, like, hey, tell Dalinar. And Kaladin's like, no, I need more information or something, right?
Right, yeah.
So, Kaladin, you've met the guys. You know their faces. Just go.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
It's all about,
Kaladin, it would be so easy for Kaladin to just halt this completely. Like, which is his job. It's literally his job, right?
Right.
Don't kill
Syl. Not doing it.
Yet, were the Order not disheartened by so great a defeat, for the Lightweavers provided spiritual sustenance. They were enticed by those glorious creations to venture on to a second assault. Okay, so the Orders of Radiance were like, oh no, we're losing. And the Lightweavers were like, hey, everyone be cool. We're going to entertain you and make you love life or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's what Shallan is, right? Shallan's a Lightweaver.
Right. Makes sense that she's, all artsy as well.
So, yeah, okay.
So, Pattern can just translate some parts of the Dawn chant because he's OP.
Yeah, I'm like, geez, Shallan. This would have been helpful back before they started using Dalinar as a Rosetta Stone, but now it's just not that important, you know?
Right, yeah. It's like you really could have you could have had the whole, monopoly on
yeah, if you brought this out like a year ago, you'd probably be incredibly you'd be like a renowned scholar, right?
Right, yeah.
But now Navani's going to be like, oh, I mean, it's cool that you figured it out, but...
Old news.
Yeah. Shallan is, like, looking at all these maps, right? Like, oh, man, they all list thru as being close to their kingdom, easy to travel to, yada, yada, yada. And, how did they get to it if not by road? And I'm like, flight? Teleportation? Like, didn't we... Like, I think when Taft was listing the different surges, right, way back when, we learned that there literally was one that just does teleportation, didn't we? And then they were saying, like, why would you use flight if you could just teleport?
Oh, I do remember that.
Wasn't that a thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do remember that.
So maybe the...
Yeah.
But then, right after I started thinking about that, we're just given the Oath Gates. Oh, okay.
Yep, right.
There are these things called Oath Gates. It sounds like you can take an Oath Gate and it'll teleport you to thru. And my guess is that each kingdom that lists thru on their map as being really close probably has its own Oath Gate, and thru acts as like a hub, right? Mm-hmm. So you could teleport to thru and then to another kingdom or something. Or maybe just straight from one kingdom to another, I don't know.
Yeah.
Shallan is riding along in her cart, and it's being followed by slaves. She just mentions it casually, and I'm like, geez, I don't know. It's just a bit awkward that Shallan owns slaves, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's pretty...
Isn't that kind of...
It's pretty strictly a bad thing,
And then Shallan makes some comment to Pattern about how, like, oh yeah, I just started light weaving or something like that. And Pattern is like, what? No, you first did this long ago.
Yeah.
And Shallan, like, stopped listening and shut it out because she didn't want to think about it.
Yeah. And I'm like, stop hiding the lore, Brandon.
Yeah, so...
Give it to me.
I mean, and she certainly did do it long ago because our last flashback was 3.5 years ago, and she light wove there when Hoyd was talking to her, right?
Yep, right.
But did she do it even longer ago? Was it related to her killing her mom, you know?
Right.
Because if she's blocking it out now, it makes me think
the vault part of it,
yeah.
you know? Could be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's testing out her light weaving on her way. You know, she's like, she realizes that drawing, she like has to draw the thing to make it work, which Pattern says isn't necessary, but for her, she might as well because it's like helping.
Yeah.
She makes a perfect copy of, what's his name, Cerberial, sitting in like a pose he had when she was riding back to his camp with him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And but it, you know, it doesn't move or anything. It's just like a painting but in 3D kind of.
Yeah.
And she's like, I gotta figure out how to make these things move. But she realizes she doesn't have to draw it as detailed as it comes out in a light weaving.
Yeah, yeah. If she just does like a rough sketch, she can get a more detailed illusion.
Right.
And the whole time she's in there just like doing all this light weaving, which she's already explained, I'm pretty sure, she does not know how to dispel, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, Shallan, this is kind of like, what if your guard knocks on the door and like, yeah, we have to talk to somebody, and you're like, I can't even open the blinds. I'm naked, you know, like, what do you say?
Right,
like,
yeah. How do you pass that one off?
Yeah. But yeah, it was fine. She didn't get caught or anything, so.
Right, yeah, just some good practice.
Okay, and now, wow, we're already in the last chapter. Are we just speeding through it tonight?
We got 2 more, right? Wait, was it through 49?
Through 49.
Yeah, that was
Did I miss
47 we were just talking about.
Maybe I just have no notes for one chapter. I don't know.
Oh, weird. Okay, well, we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out.
Okay, so... Is the
So now
next
we're
one
in
a
the other
flashback?
Flashback, yeah.
Oh, I literally have no notes for this flashback.
Oh, really? Okay. Yes, this is where, this is where Jushu, the brother that is gambling, he gambled too much, had too high a debt, and so people come to take him away, and Shallan's father's like, yep, yeah, go ahead, take him, I can't pay this, right?
And the brothers are also like, yeah, take him. It's his fault, you know?
Right, yeah, this was his pyre he built, or whatever they say.
Yeah.
And so Shallan is like, no, we can't let this happen. He's our brother, right? And they're like, hey, he made his bed, got to sleep in it. And she's like, give me your daggers. I'm gonna go sell them to the guy and try to get him back. And so that ends up working. They bring Jushu back, and they're like pretty. Her brothers are more cool about it once they actually see him and bring him back inside.
Mm-hmm.
And then her dad is pissed. Lynn, he's real angry about it, and he yells at her for the first time, and like picks her up and like is almost gonna hurt her, and then he looks up like to where her mother's soul is stored, presumably in that vault, and then he like drops her on the floor and it's like, get out of here.
Yep, and then he totally beats the heck out of a serving maid or something, right?
Yep.
And he talks to her and says like, I would never hurt you, right? Now, of course, I have to let my anger out somehow if you disobey. And the limp body of this serving maid is just outside the door.
Right. Crawling
and
away,
he's
bleeding all over the
basically
place.
saying to Shallan, like, every time you disobey me, I'm going to beat the hell out of someone, and that blood is on your hands, you know? Like, it's like that sort of, like, he's just incredibly... Just a bad person. Just a really bad person. Yeah,
it's like so gross. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even in like when he says that, like there's like a little note from like Brandon Sanderson in there. It's just like, man, could this monster really be her father? He's like, isn't this pretty messed up? And I'm like, yeah, this is horrifying.
Yeah, no, Brandon Sanderson, you wrote a messed up guy. Good job. Like,
yeah, congratulations.
Like, you don't have to convince me. Like I already understand. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, and Wickham gives Shallan a bag of poisonous leaves. I don't remember what they're called.
Oh, that might come up later. That's a good point.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, I just don't. You'll be more responsible with these than I will, or something.
I think it was just, he wanted to just get rid of them somehow. He no longer felt like he needed them, and I think he was just like showing Shallan. He wanted Shallan to know that she had helped him, right?
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
He wanted her to know, like,
by
I
giving
was
him the
going
math
to,
to do.
but your efforts have not been in vain. You've saved me from suicide, right?
Sure.
Like,
Okay.
You know, great job.
But who knows if they'll be used for something.
Bum 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 bum.
Ba-da-boom, ba-da-boom.
These light weavers, by no coincidence, included many who pursued the arts, namely writers, artists, musicians, painters, sculptors. Considering the order's general temperament, the tales of their strange and varied mnemonic abilities may have been embellished. And I'm thinking they weren't embellished, because Shallan is like a prodigy artist, right?
Right.
Like, light weavers were probably just all geniuses at some art or another.
Heckin' artists, yeah. For
sure. And hey, we get a date. We just sit in on a date. I feel awkward. We're just sitting here watching these two teenagers on a date, you know?
Right, yeah. It's like,
well, I guess one teenager and Adelin's probably like 22. He's like 5 years older than her or something.
Something around, yeah, around.
Because she's 17, right? 17, and he mentioned his 23rd birthday, so I'm thinking he's probably 22.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And
yeah, we're just watching a kind of expectedly awkward first date going on at this like restaurant where they all dine right before a high storm, and then they all run inside and like watch it happen or something.
Which is kind of fun. I kind of like.
You're right.
That.
Yeah, right. It seems
it sounds like a good date.
Fad sort of thing. Yeah.
But yeah, he's. I mean, you know, she does her thing she did last time they talked, where he's like, "How are things going for you?" And she's like, "Yeah." Like she just turns into an idiot briefly, but then she's like, "Snap out of it!" And she slaps herself, and she's like, "Oh, I mean,"
she's like,
and then she goes
poised.
And then she starts being, you know, witty and whatnot.
Right.
But Adolin is just too hot. He like.
You're right. She can't.
He just turns her mind to mush ever so briefly every time they talk.
Right. She's like, oh, those eyes, that hair, his cologne. Oh my.
She can't stop talking about it.
Yeah.
And I'm falling in love with Adolin as a result.
Yep. Hey, can't help it.
You know, Adolin is like, I honestly don't know about all these wines. I just picked the one with the fanciest name. You know, what? I don't even know what I'm supposed to be tasting. And Shallan's like, you're probably supposed to be checking for bugs. And I'm like, aha, funny joke, Shallan. And then he's like, no, I don't think it could be bugs. No, because my taster would have noticed the bugs. Yeah, and I'm like, oh my god. Adolin, like, he doesn't even grasp that it was a joke.
So dense.
He's so stupid.
This happened when she came to the, training grounds too. She like cracked some joke, and he was like, "What? No!" And he just took it literally, and I was like, "Yeah, Adolin, you're wasting a good joke."
And I think that this isn't totally his fault. I think he's been conditioned this way,
right?
Because so many people who have courted him in the past have done what Shallan is doing at the beginning of this conversation, right?
Right.
And just trying to be just incredibly proper and interested in him and just compliment everything he says, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the fact that somebody's trying to be a little bit, you know, witty is kind of. He's just not used to it, right? He's like,
right, yeah.
Oh,
and she's like,
I don't know, maybe.
She's like, make him talk about himself. She's like asking all the things, and he's like talking about the time that he was on some, assault, and she's like, oh, you're so brave, and I'm like,
I know, yeah, dude. The beginning of this conversation where it was like she was just saying everything she felt like she was supposed to be saying. Mm-hmm. I was like cringing listening to it, you know. I was like,
it was rough.
Oh no, like,
And then randomly,
it felt like they're this is probably the same first date he's been on a million times, right?
Yeah, mm-hmm.
And they're both just reading from a script, and this is totally it reminded me a lot, especially the line about how like, he was like, oh, we're not supposed to talk about that, and she's like, it felt like he expected me to insist that he went on, so then she did, right?
Mm-hmm.
It made me think about when people laugh really, like they're looking at their phone and they like laugh at something,
mm-hmm.
and then they don't tell you about it. They wait for you to say like, well, what's so funny, right? It's like it's a tiny pet peeve for me, right? There's some pet peeves where I'm like, oh, that gets me my blood boiling, right? This one is like kind of whatever, every
just
time
wears your gears.
I think to myself like, in like a slightly disdainful way, but I don't, I always say like, what's the joke, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of reminded me of that. This was like that same sort of thing where you just expect the other person to say something. It's very much like I'm you're not listening. You're just talking. I don't know. It's like it's lame.
Right. Yeah. No. I agree. I've kind of noticed that people. I mean, I've done that certainly, and I've noticed people doing that too. So it's just like a weird social thing.
Yeah. Personally, because I've thought about it, right. Whenever I like laugh at something, I'll always immediately be like, "All right, check this out." Like this is hilarious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, anyway.
However, Shallan is like, this sucks. She's thinking the same thing I'm thinking.
Right.
And she goes off script, buddy. She
goes off script hard.
She goes careening off script. If the script was a cliff and Shallan was a bus, she would have just been responsible for 45 deaths. Like, I mean...
Right. She's like, yeah, so, I mean, being on Bridge of Souls, that's cool and all. Like, I get it. When do you poop, though?
Yeah, and I thought that was hilarious. And you know, she keeps, like, kind of pushing him about it, like making him give more and more detail. And then he has that line. He has that line where he says, "I'm just trying to determine whether or not you're wit in a wig," and like this is the sort of thing he would do to like mess with me, right? I thought that was hilarious, and now I really want I want present day Shallan to meet Wit again.
Yeah,
right. And I want that conversation.
Yeah, that rap battle would be sick.
Oh man, yeah, it was really funny though. Great date.
Right.
You know, Adolin is super, super cool with this really unconventional dating because he's done the conventional stuff a million times, right?
Exactly.
So,
yeah, it's nice and refreshing to have a genuine, funny moment.
She's being weird and not following social norms, and he's like, cool, like, hey, nice.
Yeah, why not?
And Adolin doesn't really have a whole lot going for him except that he's like nice to waiters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he's incredibly handsome, and that's all it takes for Shallan.
Yeah. It was funny, too, because, like, right before, during the boring part of the date, she, you know, mentions, like, he's, you know, being really nice to the waitress, but as she's walking away, he's, like, staring at the waitress, and she just, like, gives him an eyebrow, and he, like, carries on. He doesn't even know, like, what he does, like, inappropriate or anything, and she's like, all right, I gotta shake this up.
Adolin's just a little bit of an idiot. It's just it's just part of his character. I don't know. It's kind of growing on me though. I'm kind of starting to like the fact that he's a little stupid.
I like it. This was, you know, like a
he's kind of starting to make me think of a dog. Because he's very loyal, right, to his father. He's like, if someone insults his father, he gets really mad, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And he's not very smart, and he's really nice. It at least gives the impression of liking everybody except for Kaladin, more or less.
Yeah.
And Sadeas, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't know. He even has yellow hair. He's kind of like a human golden retriever a little bit.
Yeah. He's cute in an oafish way.
And Shallan is kind of like a fox, right? 'Cause she's got red hair and she's sly.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And Kaladin is kind of like some sort of depressed rat man. So, no, I'm kidding.
Wow, brutal. All right.
I wanted to say a third animal thing, but I didn't actually have anything for Kaladin.
What's the most noble animal? Dalinar, he's like a bald eagle, you know?
A stag, dude. Stag.
Oh, okay, sure.
I'm biased towards stags, though. I really like stags.
Yeah, is that because you never date anybody?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I haven't been on a date in a long time, but I don't know why you have to call me out on that. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We realized though, Shallan.
Shallan.
I was just like reading phonetically her name.
Yeah.
She is like has kind of like PTSD because of Capsule, like straight up, you know, like tricking her into thinking he was into her, you know.
I hope that wasn't too important because I accidentally pulled out my headphones.
Oh. She's you know, has PTSD from Capsule.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking, you know, she liked her, so that's like weighing on her a little bit.
The thing is that Adolin has nothing to gain.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah, no. I mean, it wasn't like that big of a thing, but, you know, like, definitely they messed her up a little bit. And then right before the end of the chapter, you know, it's the high storm's approaching, everybody's starting to kind of make their way inside, and then, like, they see the storm wall, and that freaks some people out, so they run. And, like, Shallan is, like, white-knuckled at this, like, balcony staring into it, like, man, I want to draw that. That's really enticing.
Yeah, Shallan is, like, staring at the ice storm being like, oh, my God, I dig that. I don't know. She's really
it's like
into
this weird,
it.
unnatural, like, pull to it, kind of.
Yeah.
And then Adolin finally, like, manages to, like, yank her inside, and she's like, we could have been out there for 6 more seconds. What the heck, man? And Adolin's like, what is your deal?
And I'm like, yeah, Adolin, what is her deal? Like, what was that about?
That was very strange, yeah.
I'm right here with you. Adolin is slowly becoming really relatable to me.
Yeah, his numbers are rising, I'd say.
The thing is that, like, Adolin is the most obviously flawed of all of the main characters. Well, I guess Shallan is really obviously flawed, and I guess Kaladin... Like, Shallan straight up has, like, PTSD, right? And Kaladin straight up... He's, like, straight up depressed, let's be honest, right? He, like, has depression.
Yeah.
Kaladin is obviously just perfect. But Adolin is, like, flawed in a really... He's flawed in, like, a more relatable way, right?
Right, yeah.
Where he's just... he's just kind of stupid, you know? And, like...
Right.
And he doesn't understand...
For sure.
I don't know, but, like, he tries to be nice. It's...
Right, he's relatable because
somehow.
he's, like... He's, you know, it's not like a... It's sort of like an awkwardness, almost. Like, he's, you know, he's not awkward in, like, his actual, you know, like, interactions and stuff, but it's just, like, his, like, it's like ignorance, kind of, you know, and I think everybody can relate to that in a way.
Like, he's being kind of dumb, and he's, you know, looking at one woman's butt while he's on a date with another woman, and he doesn't even realize what he's doing, right? He's just... He thinks he's being cool, right?
Right. Yeah, he's being real sly, so anything he does, like, you know, has to come off that way. Like, he doesn't realize he's, you know... And he even says at one point, he's like, okay, I'm not quite as dense as I'm coming off, right? I'm being, you know, I joke with it a little bit.
Yeah.
But at some points you're like, you don't even realize, you know, like, it's this weird dichotomy where he, like, sometimes he's like, all right, yeah, no, I was just playing dumb. And sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, he actually is that dumb. Like,
he's pretty dumb. He's like...
Yeah.
He's kind of medium dumb, you know?
Right. It's a fun thing to pay attention to.
Yeah. I don't know. All right, let's do some character ratings. Let's start with Xyle.
Oh man, he is. I don't know. I like him a lot. He hasn't done anything like extraordinary, but I'd say he's like 7.
I think I almost want to give him an 8 because
I was kind of torn between 7 and 8.
He's fun, right? He does the goofy things. He's like a master swordsman, but he doesn't think it's a big deal.
Right, he doesn't
and
take
he's
himself
also
too seriously.
I like desperately want to know more about him. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's like really
mysterious.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do Lopin as well, because Lopin is kind of becoming a bigger character. We never rated him before.
with all of his cousins.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's like a 6 because he's just more interesting than, you know, like your average character, but I'm not like all that invested. I don't know.
I'll also give him a 6 for now. Yeah, I'm thinking like 6 or 7. Like, he's fun as well, you know.
Yeah.
He says a bunch of wacky fun stuff. I don't know. He's a goofball.
Right. He's just quirky.
And he's like anti-depressed. He's like, he's just like always having a good time.
Reckless optimist. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's do Shallan. I feel like we've gotten a lot of character development since last time we rated her.
I can't remember all the ratings I've given to Shallan, but you know, she's done a lot of bad stuff, but she's just super cool also. I don't know. I'd give her like an 8. She's just too cool to be bad anymore.
She might be coming up to a 9 for me.
Yeah.
I think at this point I like her more than Kaladin.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Speaking of Kaladin,
he's regressed all the way to like 6-7 territory, you know?
Yeah, I put him at a 7 because I feel like he's still...
Right, I put him at a 7 because I know it's going to get better, you know? But he's just... He's at a low point right now, for sure.
I mean, you know, he's still... He's just still trying hard, and he's still helping a lot of people. He's like a good guy. He's struggling, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, let's do one really quick for Sabariel and his wife. Just one, well, not his wife, but his, you know.
Right, as a unit.
Yeah.
I'll put him at a 7, I think.
10. I love them. Oh, man. They're just both really nice, but like, you know, they had the scene where Shallan was leaving the house and like they were both just like lounging about and the woman was getting like a back massage while some lady was reading poetry to them, and she's like, "Oh, take the carriage, yeah, whatever. I don't give it, you know."
Yeah.
I was like, these guys are just so like they just got it figured out, you know.
Right. Yeah, they do have a pretty sweet lifestyle. I gotta admit.
I just like them. I don't know. I really like them.
All right. You've convinced me. I'll bump him to an 8.
Also, we never rated Hoyd, but I feel like that's not fair because he's like.
Yeah,
he's like Tom Bombadil.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly what he is. Yeah.
Let's do Adolin again too.
Oh yeah, sure.
Where's Adolin at now?
Jeez, I don't remember what I had him at last time.
Yeah, me neither.
What did I give? I give Shallan an 8.
Yeah.
Now I gotta give him a 7 then. I was gonna say 8, but he's definitely less cool than Shallan. But he's definitely improving.
I think I'll give him an 8. Okay. Well, no, I'll give him a 7. I don't think I rate him above Kaladin. I think I'll put him at a 7.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's like, it's a hard rating system, you know.
the only thing I'm sad about, John, is how little Dalinar we're getting in this book. I feel like we've had like nothing from Dalinar's perspective. You know,
there's been very little.
So sad.
This is like, you know, the first book was like mostly Kaladin. This book is definitely mostly Shallan, which we've kind of discussed. But.
Well, yeah, and each book is going to be focused on a different character. I don't know if each one is going to be flashbacks for a different character, but I kind of suspect that because this one has been all, of course, Kaladin flashbacks, or last one all Kaladin, this one all Shallan.
Yep.
The next one I would guess is going to be. Well, actually, I don't have to guess. I know.
Okay, yeah.
I was going to say what my guess would be. Who do you think it's going to be?
I mean, what? The three main... Like, the main characters we have are Kaladin, Shallan, Dalinar, Adolin, sort of, but he's more, like, on the side. But we get stuff from his perspective now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would say Dalinar, but we've had all of his, like, you know, High Storm vision things. So, like, flashbacks would be kind of... strange, but I don't know who else who else is on a level with Kaladin and Shallan. Pretty much just him.
Yeah, I would say the people with the most mysterious pasts to me right now are Xyle, Zeth, Yesna, Taravangian, Gavilar, Dalinar.
Yeah.
But Yesna's dead. And we don't really get a whole lot on Taravangian. He's not really a big deal, and neither is Xyle.
Yep.
So, I mean, it could be Zeth, it could be Dalinar.
Yeah. I kind of want you to just tell me, but I also want to wait to find out. I don't know.
Well, you'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, I can wait. I don't know. I guess my guess would... I mean, I want to say Dalinar, because he's the only one on the level with Kaladin and Shallan in terms of, like, importance, but it just doesn't, like... I have a gut feeling that's not it for some reason. But, yeah, we'll find out in Oathbringer. Well, it's called Oathbringer, which makes me more convinced it's Dalinar now.
That is a pretty Dalinar-related thing.
Yeah. Well, whatever. We'll find out. We're chewing through this book. We're, like, pretty much halfway now, I think.
I mean, hey, you know what, John? Let's go ahead and just finish part 3 next time, why don't we?
Alright, hey, just because you said so.
Alright, next time, let's read chapters 50 through 58.
Alrighty.
Which will bring us right to the end of part 3. It is a cool Chichinga. 36,672 words. Which is like kind of a medium amount.
Yeah.
And holy moly, dude. I feel like end of part 3 is a really good place to put some crazy stuff, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So,
I mean, we've kind of been, like, we've had some building elements, some, you know, like, not exactly lore dumps, but, like, some pretty calm stuff. Not a lot of, like, present-day action has taken place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be fun, though.
Yep.
Well,
we'll see ya then.
All right, cool. I just gave that a moment of silence to let that wind sound effect kind of sink in. You know?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was kind of an abrupt ending, but, you know, here we are.